So do you remember in our last writing workshop when we wrote our draft for persuasive text and we learned what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, well the next step that we do is we see what needs to be changed to make it even better. Do you know what that's called? We talked about it.
Editing?
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to get out your graphic organizer and we're going to talk about each of the reasons that you chose, and we're going to rank them in order of what's the most important and what's the least important, and then we're going to compare it to your paper and see if it matches. Okay? So what would you say is the most important reason that would get your parents to buy you a pig?
They're tiny and fat and they're fun to play with.
So you think that that's right, that should be the first paragraph? Okay, so then let's write a number 1 there. And what do you think the second best reason would be?
That I like them.
Okay, so that would be paragraph number 2. And then that obviously leaves that being the third one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then whenever we make our final draft, we're just going to rearrange the paragraphs a little bit so that this is paragraph 1, this is paragraph 2, and this is paragraph 3. Sound good? Okay, well until then, we're going to read through this and make any changes that need to be changed and edit it a little bit, okay? So why don't you start reading it to me? We'll go by sentence through sentence.
I want to convince my parents to get me a pig.
Okay, so I see a couple spelling errors here. You want this to say want, right? Okay, well let's sound want out. What?
What?
T.
P.
And what do you have here?
What?
No, what letters do you have?
W-H.
Okay, and then when we sound it out again, what letter sounds like it's missing?
N.
Right, so where do you think the N goes?
Right here.
Here, you can use this. So we can remember you can cross it out and then rewrite want. Okay. Now another word I see is convince. How do you think you spell convince? Will you read that to me?
C-O-V-I-N-S-E.
Okay, well let's sound out convince. Okay, you try to do it by yourself this time.
V-I-N-C-E.
Okay, now keep reading.
I want to convince them to get me a pig because they're cute, they oink, and I like them.
Okay, so what errors do you see in this one that you made previously?
Convince. Want. Them. Cute. And because.
Yep.
That's the guy from Modern.
So do you realize why these were spelled wrong?
Because I didn't time them up.
Right. Okay, keep reading.
I also want to convince my parents to get me a pig because they are cute. They also are tiny, fat, and they are also fun to play with.
Okay. Now since we already said that they're cute up here, do you think we should say that again in that sentence? Maybe we'll just cross that out altogether. What do you think?
And on. Keep them on.
No, you can get rid of because they are tiny. So you can get rid of that also as well. Okay, now let's read that sentence again. Let's see how it
I
sounds.
also want to convince my parents to get me a pig because they are tiny, fat, and they are fun to play with.
Okay, good. Now you also have another spelling error that you had. What is that supposed to be?
What?
Right.
Because
That looks good. Okay, read the next sentence.
I also want to convince my parents to get me a pig because the oink also because it
That sentence doesn't really make sense, huh? So why don't we cross the sentence out and then we can rewrite it over here and draw an arrow to where it's supposed to go. Was it all that? Okay. Well, okay, now let's rewrite it. Or you can write it down here if this won't be enough space. So, read to me again what you have. If you can read it through the cross out.
I also want to convince my parents to get me
Just read how it is.
a pig because they oink. Also because if they get lost, we can find him. Annoying the mean neighbors is something. I can make noises with the pig to get it.
Okay. So let's start from the beginning, like from the first part of that sentence. So what are you trying to say?
I also want to convince my parents to get a pig because
they oink.
Because if they get lost, we
have to put in there because they oink first, and then we say it's so if they get lost we can find them. So you can write it down here. What word?
Because
Do you know how to spell it? Just write it. Because they oink, right?
yeah,
Then you can say it is good that they oink because you can find them. Read to me what you have.
I want to convince my parents to get me a pig because they oink. And it is good that
It is good they oink because
it is good that they oink because if they get lost, also, he can point and annoy the
There's one more reason to have with it. One more detail. Okay, I'll read the next sentence. I'll read the next sentence.
Lastly, I want to convince my parents to get me a pig because I like them and they're pink and round. Pink
They
Pink.
run.
and they run around. And no, okay. They run around and they can be all different colors.
Sounds like a pretty good sentence, right?
Except I see spelling errors.
Is it good? Oh, that should be around.
I spell different.
Sounds bad. Out loud, let me hear you.
Different.
You're missing a letter. D, I, nt.
A,
Eh.
E,
So spell to me what you have.
Diffferent. And my last sentence, my conclusion is, this is why I wanted to convince my parents to get me a pig.
And what are a couple words there that you learned today that you misspelled in the last
One,
sentence?
convince because them.
Okay.
And cute. And
Okay. Good. Now that we have taken some time to learn about revising, do you think you've written a good essay?
yes.
Do you think it's going to get you a pig?
No.
No. Do you think the writing process helped you write your paper?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think you'll use it later on?
Yes.
Alright. Well, what we're going to do now is we are going to rewrite our paper as a final copy. We're going to change our little errors that we found. We're going to rearrange the paragraphs a little bit, and then we'll go over it again, okay?